It's a little cooler tonight, I think. I think. We what?
Said it rained a couple of days.
Yeah,
But other than that, I gotta go shopping. Danny
Good.
was down there, with us.
yes,
And
and the baby.
And the baby.
Yes, and Shay.
He loved the pool.
Oh, good.
So she says, I'm gonna go home in my little,
Yeah.
one that's like,
Waiting pool.
waiting pool. And she said, he's gonna look at me, what the heck? Mom?"
Yeah, this isn't deep enough. Oh. Hmm.
Late Friday afternoon, you're good for me.
You guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. I've got 6 o'clock. Is
Oh,
that
sorry, we do.
Todd, if you don't mind, would you chair the meeting tonight?
Yep,
There.
so I'll call the meeting to order. Take a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Please, if you come stand at the microphone, say your name and thank you.
Good evening. My name is Heidi Carter. I live in Corinda. And education is my bread and butter for decades, and it is still one of my absolute passions. Last week, the Board of Supervisors approved $22,000 for an information campaign. This agreement can be terminated without cost if the Board of Supervisors does not think it is reaching an. So this will rank what are your evaluation criteria when you receive those weekly reports. What will you be evaluating? What are your key performance indicators? Read the Facebook post, how many likes, how many dislikes, is it going up, is it going down? It's with key performance indicator for the website. How many people are reaching, the website, any questions with that? First, for your town meeting, attendance. Your education campaign is not August, October, August, September, October. Actually, I can do this right now. When I have a form to request an absentee ballot. That would be returned to the courthouse. It would be sent to me in the mail, and then I can vote far ahead of November 7th. So they're going to be voters who are voting before November 7th. Admittedly, it is a light turn because it's an off year, and I know as a poll worker we didn't have many people, but this year it could be different. I'm just saying that education campaign has to be running to get people to be voting. For your meetings, I would ask the auditor to show respect to people who might be a bit shy about asking questions, to explain what is a bond, what does the bond mean to the county and to the taxpayers, and how long my taxes being evaluated and raised at a certain amount, as in how long is this going to take me, how many years will I be paying for your taxes? And I've asked a few people, do you know where to find your person? Move on or 71. Other people said, I think my tax. One I said, Sure. Statement.
Heidi, I never paid much attention while I had the mortgage because the bank took care of it. And now I'm really paying attention. So if you're having your town hall meeting to explain the people and the process to the people, I have one here and you can use mine if you want as an example in the town hall meetings. You don't even have to black out my name. I'm proud that I could buy a house in Florinda. And I'm just saying, when you're going through it, the parcel and the rest, and on the back, you'll see debt service courthouse. Is that where, if it passes, is that where it's going to show up? So people understand where it's going to be and what it's going to be. And also, I don't know if people would be interested, but is this going to be a bond that I could call my broker and say, please buy X amount of these shares in this bond so that I could reap some of that interest benefit? Or is it more for investors? People might be interested in that type of thing. So again, like I said, you're free to use mine any time of it that you'd like to, no questions asked. You might also want to have Corey set up some computers. So when we're going through the web page at the town hall meeting, people can go over and see the widget and have help with the widget if they want to. Timing of your town hall meetings. I would definitely suggest one late August, early September, because combines are going to start rolling in later September. And harvest takes some people all the way through October. So I don't know if they'd be able to come to other town hall meetings. I think another learning opportunity for your second town hall meeting will be right after the tax statements hit the mailboxes, because people are going to be opening up that tax statement and it'll really mean something then. And it's like, well, what do you mean? Okay, here's this, here's that. Where's that going to affect me? Because taxes will be due before the election. I think one of the questions you're going to get at the town hall meeting is how much is the bond if we only build the jail and sheriff's office? And I know you have that information, but that is just a question I think that will come up. I own 0.2 acre. I live in town, you know, so it's going to mean something to me, but not as much as somebody who might own 1750 for acres and things. So that might be a question you'd receive. I thought Shira brought up a good point when she said, if they close the jail, what do we do with the inmates within that? And that they would have to be taken to another county and paid for. It reminded me when our deputy sheriffs were taking people with severe mental health issues after MHI closed, that the deputies were taking them 4 hours away from Page County and coming back and had overtime and everything, just so they could find a bed in a different community. And I'm assuming that Page County would have had to pay for their care as well. So I'm just suggesting that at this town hall meeting, if somebody says, well, what happens if they close the jail? How much is that going to cost us? Well, it's going to cost the time of the deputy sheriff and the mileage and that kind of thing. But also, what would those costs be? And I don't know, Fremont, Montgomery, what other type of counties that they would take them to? So I'm excited to hear about your educational campaign and what's going to happen with it, but I've been thinking about it a lot, so I just wanted to bring up these points. Thank you.
All good points. Thanks, Heidi. Those are really good, Heidi, and I'm sure Samuel's group is going to cover all of those things, but those are valid, good things.
Choose. Who's going to you have to put in the car way in front of the house. You also keep claiming to know which specific company, which is one of the reasons you chose to hire an outside law firm. What you're forgetting is that person who made the complaint is a process racism. Which is why an independent investigator required not. That's why it's a conflict of interest for you guys to. Urge you to stop these people hiring them until the investigation is completed. The investigation is involved. One side note, I told you guys when I met you that I was a retired administrative law firm. What I didn't tell you was my degree is in HR. So I'm just experience. While this is somebody's did. We have debating and non-debating factors. That's a debating factor. If you qualifies to admit that somebody made a statement that was regarding the proposed ordinance on limiting how many decibels are allowed from windmills. There's so many regularly used devices that produce so much more sound than windmills. Tractors, combines, chainsaws, riding lawnmowers, and when I investigated my own electric toothbrush. You cannot pass an ordinance with such a tight restriction for just one item such as windmills and not have that same ordinance be expected to be used for items in the county.
Hey, Todd? Can you hear me? Yeah, I couldn't hear a lot of what Brad said there, but I heard a little bit. I encourage everybody to go to our Page County zoning ordinance from 2008, which applies to everything that's industrial. Agriculture does not fall in that. I couldn't hear everything he said, but we have zoning in Page County for anything that's not agricultural. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, any other public comment?
Yes, Todd, I would like to speak. Tom Wagner, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Tom.
Yes, talk about roads. It's been over 6 years. I was asked to make a presentation, which I did. And when I was at a meeting here, a man with Schilberg Construction, he wouldn't even respond to what I presented. And he talked about material being scraped off the road. Yes, I got it off of the road at a 2-inch depth. And that is what we have had to, I guess that's what we've had to drive on to live with. And that's what our tax dollars have been spent. And I would say not in the best manner. And as far as Supervisor Clark, I asked you at that one meeting if you were interested in some numbers, and I could even give you updated numbers. And you said you hadn't seen enough numbers. I just don't understand somebody taking that point of view when you actually stated last week to a taxpayer that the roads didn't get this way overnight and they won't be fixed overnight. And so I guess I would like somebody to put down in black and white what has been done, what has been changed, to try and improve or to improve, which it can be done, other than buying material that has too many fines and put on roads that already have too many fines and expect to get some kind of decent surface. So I guess I would like somebody to respond to that. As far as minutes, I find it it's kind of interesting that when Supervisor Morris last year, when they were discussing the $70,000 boat ramp at Rat Park, the discussion or the reason why he thought it was needed was because his wife kayaks and she said that ramp was bad. I didn't see that in the minutes because that was part of the discussion to move that, to make that motion and approve that expenditure. I've asked for a motion last year for the board to instruct the engineer to correct the deficiencies on a $3.36 million project. And the president, or the chairman of the board, he said I could ask for anything. I didn't see anything in the minutes about that. Actually, the chairman of the board last year declined my timely request to be on the agenda because there were other deficiencies other than one on the end of the project at the Montgomery County line. He declined my timely request to be on the agenda. I don't see anything in the minutes about that. I think that's very important when you're discussing the facts, the deviation from specifications on a $3.36 million project. And then I guess I would like to ask one more thing. I think Supervisor Clark was the auditor when a shared engineer with Montgomery County terminated a contract on Bank Station, and apparently the all procedures weren't done properly. Page County was sued, if I remember right, I think for $1 million. The county, and I guess, where did that money come from to pay the attorney fees to defend that $1 million lawsuit? What fund did that come out of? And so the county paid that, Brad, they were paying him $150 to $125 his preparation to help defend against the lawsuit against Page County when he was the one that terminated the contract. What fund, what account, where at in the county budget did that money come from? I would like for somebody to respond to that.
I think we had, our insurance probably handled that. I don't know. I don't remember all of that. I remember when it was done and but I don't remember how it all turned out, and I don't remember, I don't remember all of that. So I don't know, but our insurance company would have been involved in that.
Well, at the time, that county engineer, that shared engineer also used Page County equipment outside of Page County, and the Mills County engineer, Mills County attorney had even responded, and the letter said that yes, it was probably illegal use of Page County equipment. I did ask the supervisor that at that time, why wasn't that followed up? The response was, well, we needed him to testify. So, people talk about a lot of things in Page County. There has been some mistakes made in the past, and they have been very costly. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. All right, any other public comment? Brad, do you have something else to say?
Clarification from Jake. Okay, I'll try to speak. You said that agricultural zoning is what you're relying on? Is that what you were saying?
I'm saying that the ordinance we're writing goes to commercial wind energy systems, not anything else. And if you go read the ordinance that was come out in 2008, that Page County operates under, things that are of agriculture in nature are exempt. They doesn't apply to them. So you might read it. You can read it through. It's 2008. It's on our ordinance page. It covers all that. The wind ordinance, as many counties have, will not apply to a chainsaw. And so I don't know where that's coming from, but
It's decibels.
yeah,
It's sound.
with the decibels tied to the wind ordinance.
Yeah.
Not any decibel ever, anywhere.
I guess my understanding would be that we have a commercial decibel parameter and we have an agricultural decibel parameter, and those wouldn't compete with each other. They would be different.
Can you tell me then
That's my understanding.
which commercial property a windmill is on? Because I've driven around and I've only seen them on agriculture.
Well, they're gonna be listed as a commercial project though. So that 5 acres that they're leasing, that gets zoned as commercial, right?
Different tax.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's my understanding.
I still think you're opening the can of worms, John.
All right, any other public comment? If not, we'll go to engineers update.
Good evening, this is JD King, Page County Engineer. Warm evening in Page County. Before I get to the update, Tom, are you talking about the lawsuit that occurred with K&L about the weirs?
Yeah, I didn't remember if it was bank stabilization. I think it was a contractor I thought it was Ottawa, Iowa, but I'm not sure about that.
Is that what you're referring to there? We can.
It was bank stabilization and I can't remember. I thought it was bank stabilization, but anyway, it was the shared engineer with Montgomery County.
Okay, well, we can look back in our records. I know that project came out of the engineer's office. Okay,
Yeah, and then at the time, JD, I said, Mike, I've been involved in contracts, turnpikes, interstates, county, different states. And things have to be done in the proper procedure, and you just don't, you have to have your facts straight before some contract. You terminate a contractor and have a bonding company take it over. So that I thought it was very backward. I'll just put it that way. And so, yeah, I just like know where did it from? It came out of county somewhere, and I know we have a lot of interest where money comes from nowadays, and I think this is something that is a good example of, hey, we want to explain where money's coming from. This is I want to say it's a very good example. Taxpayers had to foot the bill. Thank you.
okay, I sent the engineer update out Tuesday evening. I haven't sent out the map yet. The map for the utility permits is a hard copy with the board. This week our operations are weather dependent. We, given the rain, we put all the blades out in the districts to work on the roads. We pulled them off the reshaping of H Avenue south of the Russell Corner. We'll restart that operation next week. We're hauling rock with 3 trucks. The pipe crew is working on 220th Street west of Hawthorne, east of G, on a set of twin pipes. The hole was excavated when I was there today noon. So, it'll be closed over the weekend and hopefully we'll get that tidied up next week. Got a couple more on the pavements and we're now working on gravels in the western, part of the county. The spray patcher crew was grinding some bumps on various, pavements, not using the spray patcher. In the shop, we had a couple more graders in for faults on the injectors, both number 8 and number 4 through injector codes. And the CAT technician was on site Monday, working on those at least. Number 24, a truck tractor, and 44, a tandem were in for service this week. We fixed the fault in the spray patcher, which is plugged in overnight to keep the oil warm. We worked on that electrical issue, and I've got a tanker load of road oil coming in tomorrow morning. I'm moving to our construction side. On 280th Street, all the concrete work is done. The bridge crew there has been cleaning up for most of the week. And next week, the dirt crew is scheduled to arrive and they're gonna pull the last crane out. Up at Essex, they're still continuing with forming the deck. The side forms are on one side and they're working on the other side. The steel's next. They were putting steel, reinforcing steel in the abutments today. Our base stabilization job and seal coat up on J Road. They continued to work on the paperwork this week. We were, based on the pre-con, we're going to start in the middle of next week. However, they had some equipment issues over in Fremont County, and they've delayed that start till the 31st of July, which is not next Monday, but the following Monday. Weather dependent, of course. Next week, the quarry is going to be crushing rock used for that project. We had raised grant, the raised grant that's going to fund the Essex North Bridge. I had meetings with the US DOT via Zoom on Tuesday, and the Iowa group, 9 counties, was on Wednesday, both Zoom meetings. Basically, there'll be one grant agreement with the lead county and then subordinate phased obligations. They don't know quite how that's all going to work. Next, we'll start project. Most counties aren't as far along with project development as county is. That works. On the project development side, we turned in plans from T30. And we're getting ready for J55 base stabilization and seal coat work. The International Low Volume Roads Committee that meets once every 4 years, sponsored by the TRB, the Transportation Research Board, is being held in Cedar Rapids. Last time it was held in Kalispell 4 years ago. One of my guys is going to attend that. The questions for the engineers update.
You ever find out any more on the skid steer that had
I
the?
haven't heard anything lately. It is not back from the dealer.
Okay.
The crew that would have had or would have had that would have been the pipe crew, and they had an older cat. I think the dealer's working on getting this another machine.
Okay.
Haven't heard about that lately.
JD, on the query, going out to the query, is there this next week or when's that supposed to be?
I mean, to visit the quarry,
Yeah, to go out and talk to him about rock, what we want to do.
the following week would be the Monday, the morning meeting, not next week, but the following week, the week of the 31st. That'd be the
Yeah.
first of August.
The 1 inch, somewhat clean, mostly clean rock we was wanting them to look at. Have you had any more?
They are not willing to make that gradation for us.
Really? Well, I talked to a guy at work there and he acted like it'd be no big deal. So you have that in writing, they wouldn't do that?
He didn't give it to me in writing.
Well, I'd
Yes.
like,
Okay.
well, maybe we need to talk about that, maybe on the agenda next week, so if they want to sell to us or not, how that works, so. Guess we need to look at that by next week.
If you direct your attention to the next item on the agenda, IMO sent in nine utility permits. They're shown in blue, primarily in the East River and the north end of Buchanan Township. This is just another phase of rural broadband that IMO's doing here in Page County. Yes, I need a motion to approve these utility permits.
I move that we approve the utility permits for IAMO.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah, we can do a roll call. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. I do have one more item not written down on the engineer's update. The second lift on the connector roads that we're funding with ARPA, we intend to do that rock in early to mid-August. That'll be the second lift on those. I think there's 6 sections. We've already done the second lift on the C Avenue part. That's part of the detour for the Essex Bridge. We look forward to that coming on early August. Get that tied down before the fall, before the winter time. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is to discuss action, final approval of professional services agreement with Samuels Group for jail referendum after county attorney's review per Supervisor Clark.
After last week's meeting, I said I would contact the county attorney to make him aware of the agreement and have him look at it, and he sent a thing back and he said, I've read through the proposed PSA for Samuels Group and it looks like a pretty standard agreement. There are a couple things on additional costs that are pre-referendum services overview pages, and those are the things that were talked about last week. So those are all included in there. So it sounds like it's a go. Everything's fine with him.
Okay.
So I would move that we give final approval to this and you sign this as the vice chair, Tom.
Do I have a second?
yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
All right, board communication.
I had a little bit there. I came in there the other day and looked at the room with Corey and a tape measure. And we kind of measured around stuff and looked at things, and I'd like to flip it all the way around so we can see the door, but the easiest thing to do that he acted like it'd be no big deal would be just rearrange it where the desk will all fit up on the platform and then bring the clerk down and he'd be to the side with the sound. And so that'd be pretty easy to do. And I think that makes a lot of sense. We should do that and then maybe scoot the podium back a little ways, then angle the chairs kind of where people can see the podium and see us both by turning their head. They don't have to sit behind whoever's talking. We could try it. He said it'd be very easy to try. So I'd like to go forward doing that. It'd be, he's there, I guess. You asked where he said it'd be pretty simple to do. So if the board thinks
Yeah.
that's all right, rearrange for and see how it works.
Sounds like it might be easier than just rearranging the whole room.
Yeah, let's try that and see how that works. That's what I thought, and it'd be easy on him.
That you're gonna work on with Corey and,
Yeah, he said him and Troy could do it, and I don't mind coming in to kind of just make sure this help a little bit too, so.
okay,
If you guys are good with it, we'll try it, just a little simple thing.
yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, we can do something different.
No different, that's right.
Do we have to do a motion for that or just, that's
No,
just,
this is just, we're just talking to each other about moving furniture, so
okay, yep.
I don't think so.
No, shouldn't, I mean, it's not anything.
Right. So, I listened in on the phone today to the IPIB complaint thing about the county and that it was accepted and about the not having an agenda for the meeting in Fremont County. And also for the minutes not meeting code, or minutes not meeting code, the draft minutes that they looked at as evidence, so. They've just been accepted and I guess they'll go into their investigation phase and need to fix those things, do it right, so. That's all I had.
I attended a Wabansie meeting on Tuesday and it was just an update. Normal every couple months meeting, so.
Okay. I had a Board of Health meeting Monday. And I do have one thing on the correction of the minutes last week. I said I had a Zion meeting and it was actually a SWPCO. I got mixed up in my head, so, yeah, that was actually a SWPCO that I had the previous week. Other than that, I don't have anything else, I don't think, on my schedule this week, so. We went through the claims, approved claims. So I assume, Jacob, when you get back, you can sign those, or,
Yeah, or you can do it, I don't know, right, we all sign them, I guess. Yeah, I can come in and sign them when I work on the room, whatever, it's fine.
Move that we approve the claims.
you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Sure, yeah. Yes,
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 all right, and then, just the minutes. I did see your minutes that you sent. I had already done my own, but, I just kind of gone through. I did have that one change that I mentioned about the,
Zion,
supposed to be SWPCO.
Okay.
And all property line, going with the residents.
yeah,
And then just the general discussion. Line throughs that we. Mine for like the ones I went through and I kind of did pretty much the same, so
well,
I did not, so the one. I think you had some different language typed in on one of yours that you sent.
yep,
So I actually didn't have that written in, but
yeah.
I didn't have a way, so. I don't know if you want, to print them or bring them in, or,
Well, we can email them in if you like those. I'll just make a motion to approve the amended minutes. And we can email, or to the agenda email, so everybody should have them. So can't quite hear you all the way, but I'd make the motion to pass the amended minutes that I sent to everybody.
okay, yeah, mine was pretty much the same that I had amended.
And change that one word. I didn't hear everything you said, but change to SWPCO. That's fine.
Put that in there, so.
Anything else I couldn't hear, need to do, that's fine, whatever you.
No,
like.
the property line instead on the.
Oh, yeah.
resident.
Yeah, did I not get that done in there? I thought I did. It needs to say property line.
I had that and change that, so. But like I said, I print yours out that you sent me, or you sent us, I guess.
Yep.
So. I had already done my own,
Okay,
I thought. And I was just kind of comparing the two.
Mhm.
Like I said, you had more words typed in bold than I did. So.
Yeah.
I thought those probably did need to be added.
Well, so I made a motion on mine and I want to add the word SWIPCO. Is there anything else that I missed?
Did you have anything, Judy? Okay. Nope. The amended from Jacob's example, because he had, but I need to add SWIPCO
Instead of Zion.
instead of Zion, pardon me. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we can print one out here and give it to you after. So I'll second your motion.
Okay.
Sure. Yes.
No,
Did
I
you
couldn't
that?
hear you. I couldn't hear you.
We did a roll call vote.
My vote is yes. I couldn't hear say my name, sorry.
All right. All right.
And on
That's-
that, before you adjourn there, I saw a comment come up here. The minutes that were not according to Iowa Code were Page County unofficial minutes. They were not Fremont County minutes. That was the evidence sent in to show when we talked through in our meetings, having a meeting with Fremont County. So anyway, just a quick comment there. Go ahead, we can adjourn.
Yep, okay. So take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Second that, Judy. Have fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Todd.